Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Starship Troopers, the controversial yet critically reevaluated 1997 film directed by Paul Verhoeven. Based on the 1959 novel by Robert A. Heinlein, this film has seen a full circle from being criticized to becoming a cult classic. Let's delve into its journey and significance. So what makes the transition of Starship Troopers from critical failure to a cult classic so interesting?
Starship Troopers was initially misunderstood by many. It was perceived as glorifying fascism, which was far from Verhoeven's intention. His goal was to satirize militarism and political propaganda. Over time, audiences began to see its critique of authoritarian governance and how it reflected some elements of contemporary society, especially relating to politics and media.
That's fascinating. Verhoeven is known for his satirical take on such themes, like in RoboCop. The imagery in Starship Troopers, with its clear nods to Nazi aesthetics, was definitely provocative. How did the cast and the visual effects play into this controversial imagery?
Verhoeven cast actors who fit an Aryan stereotype on purpose to critique those ideals. The characters were portrayed as both naive and attractive, which seduced the audience to initially empathize with them, only to realize the fascist overtones of their world. The visual effects, notably the CGI bugs, were groundbreaking for the time and helped create a believable and formidable alien enemy, which was central to the film's message about xenophobia and warmongering.
The film does an excellent job of using these elements to critique society, but it seems like this went over a lot of people's heads on its initial release. Why do you think audiences missed these nuances at first?
The marketing played a big role in that. It was presented as a straightforward sci-fi action movie, which inclined audiences and critics to interpret it on face value, a glorification of militarized society. The satire wasn't apparent if you walked in expecting an action film. Over time, with a shift in socio-political awareness and reevaluation, its deeper commentary became more appreciated.
Let's talk about the themes of citizenship and service in the film. The idea that citizenship must be earned through military service was quite a bold narrative choice. How does this serve the film's satirical goals?
It's a direct critique of militaristic societies and the idea that one's rights must be earned through service, reminiscent of certain real-world government ideologies. By presenting a world where violence is equated with civic duty and heroism, the film encourages viewers to question the morality and logic of such systems, highlighting the absurdity of trading freedom for control.
And the infamous Coed Shower scene perfectly encapsulates the theme of society's focus on militarism over individuality. How did Verhoeven use this to further his narrative?
That scene was intended to showcase how deeply entrenched militaristic ideals were, that notions of privacy, gender, and emotion became secondary. They were more focused on their roles and duties as soldiers. It's a powerful representation of how such a system dehumanizes its people.
It seems that Verhoeven's personal history, growing up in the Nazi-occupied Netherlands, heavily informed his depiction of this dystopian future. How does his background influence the film's storytelling?
Verhoeven's experiences gave him first-hand insight into the impacts of fascism and totalitarian rule. This perspective made Starship Troopers a very personal film for him. His portrayal is not just fantastical, but a commentary rooted in reality, emphasizing the dangers of blindly following authoritarian ideologies.
With today's rise in global authoritarian tendencies, it seems Starship Troopers' themes are more relevant than ever. What about the film continues to resonate with audiences?
The film's prescient view of propaganda, authority, and militarism as entertainment, and how societies might willingly give up freedoms for perceived security, continues to be a relevant discussion today. This ongoing relevance cements its position as a significant work of satire.
Absolutely, and it's quite an achievement for a film that barely made its budget back. Today, its influence is seen in various media and discussions about fascism and military power. What can we expect for Starship Troopers going forward in terms of influence and legacy?
The film's legacy continues through its sequels, including animated adaptations, and even a potential reboot that could bring Heinlein's original themes more into the forefront. Its cult status and influence persist in discussions about politics and media, serving as a cautionary tale and an example of how satire can be effectively used to critique societies.
Thank you for such an insightful discussion. Starship Troopers is indeed a film that defies initial impressions, reminding us of the power of satire in cinema.